You might not believe this, but men over 60 are naturally tripling their testosterone without a single pill, injection, or prescription. How? Just 1 spoon a day. That's it. One simple mix, taken each morning, has been quietly helping thousands of older men reignite their energy, rebuild their strength, and restore the sexual desire they thought was lost forever. I've seen it happen again and again, and if you're listening right now, it's not too late for you either. I'm Dr. Rena Marshall. For over 30 years, I've helped aging men recover their vitality without synthetic hormones or risky procedures. I work with men who felt invisible in their own homes, tired of feeling tired, and afraid to talk about what's really happening to their bodies. But here's what I know. The male body doesn't shut down. It waits for the right support, and nature already provides it. Most men think their testosterone is gone for good, but in truth, your body still knows how to make it. It's just missing the natural signals it once had. And today, I'll show you how to turn those signals back on. Because when you combine 7 specific ingredients in the right amounts, you don't just feel better, you feel like yourself again. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal each one, explain how they work together, and show you how to prepare the exact blend at home. What you discover here could change everything. Stay with me. Before we dive into the full formula, if you haven't already, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a health breakthrough designed specifically for men over 60. And if this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0, so I know how to better serve you in future videos. Now let's begin with the very first ingredient in this powerful daily formula, the one that acts as the spark to reignite your body's natural testosterone engine. It's not a drug, it's not a hormone, it's a root from the mountains of Peru that's been trusted for centuries to restore strength and vitality in men. Let me introduce you to maca. 1. The power of a spoon, the natural formula. Over the years, I've sat across from countless men in their 60s and beyond, men who once ran businesses, raised families, served their country, built their lives with their bare hands. And yet, they'd come into my office with the same quiet question in their eyes. Is this it? Is this really just part of getting older? I could feel the frustration in their voices when they talked about the fatigue, the low drive, the fading strength, and the uncomfortable silence growing in their most intimate relationships. And every time, I told them the same thing. Your body hasn't given up. It's waiting. What most men don't realize is that aging doesn't mean you stop producing testosterone. The truth is, your body is still capable. It simply needs the right triggers, the right nourishment, and the right routine. And that's what this formula is all about. It's a simple, powerful combination of 7 natural ingredients, each one carefully chosen to target the systems that matter most for men over 60. Hormones, blood flow, metabolism, mental clarity, and yes, desire. You don't need complicated routines or expensive prescriptions. What you need is 1 spoon each morning consistently, because when these ingredients work together, they begin to unlock something you thought was long gone. Vitality that feels real, natural, and yours. So let's take a closer look, because the very first ingredient in this blend comes from a root grown high in the Andes, and it's been called nature's answer to fading masculinity for generations. Its effects are remarkable, and it may be the exact spark your body has been waiting for. Let's talk about maca. 2. Ingredient 1, maca root, nature's hormonal igniter. I remember the first time I came across maca root, not in a medical journal, but through a patient of mine named Frank, 68 years old, retired military, tough as nails, but quietly struggling. He told me about this powder he had started taking every morning, something he heard about from an old friend who swore it brought him back to life. I was skeptical, but intrigued. And once I dug into the research, I realized he wasn't exaggerating. Maca root grows high in the Andes Mountains of Peru, where the native people have used it for centuries to support endurance, fertility, and vitality in both men and women. But for men over 60, it's much more than an old folk remedy. Maca acts directly on the hypothalamus and pituitary glands, key regulators of hormone production. That means it doesn't just supply testosterone, it helps your body produce more of its own, naturally and in balance. No synthetic interference, no forced reactions, just your biology doing what it was always meant to do. Within weeks, many men report waking up with more energy, noticing a stronger libido, and feeling emotionally lighter, like a heavy fog has started to lift. It's not magic. It's not hype. It's the quiet reawakening of something powerful within you that's been waiting for the right signal. Maca sends that signal. But maca is only the beginning, because once you've reactivated your body's hormonal engine, the next step is just as crucial: protecting and improving the flow of blood throughout your body, especially to the places that matter most. And that's where the next ingredient, one you probably already have in your kitchen, plays an unexpectedly powerful role. Let's talk about ginger. 3. Ingredient 2, ginger, anti-inflammatory fuel for blood flow. Years ago, I had a gentleman in his early 70s come into my office with a quiet frustration. He said, "Doc, I'm eating right, I'm walking every day, but something still feels off. My energy's low, my drive is gone, and it's like there's a wall between me and my wife that I can't tear down." His blood work looked fine, his heart was strong, but I knew exactly where to look next: inflammation. As we age, chronic inflammation becomes a silent enemy. It's not loud or dramatic. It creeps in quietly, stiffening joints, clogging blood vessels, and disrupting blood flow to vital areas, including the brain and the reproductive system. And that's where ginger comes in. Most people think of it as a simple spice, something you grate into tea or stir fry. But inside your body, it works like a fleet of tiny repairmen, calming inflammation and restoring the natural flow of circulation. Ginger contains compounds called gingerols, natural anti-inflammatories that don't just reduce pain, but help reopen pathways that allow blood to move freely and efficiently. And when blood flows better, everything changes. Men often tell me they feel warmer, more awake, more responsive. Their joints move easier, their minds feel clearer, and most importantly, they begin to feel desire return. Not forced or artificial, but honest and real. Ginger is one of nature's great equalizers. It doesn't just soothe the surface, it works deep, protecting the systems that support energy, mood, and intimacy. And once inflammation is under control, we can take things even further by targeting the deeper, cellular roots of discomfort and hormonal interference. That's where the next ingredient comes in. Bright, golden, and more powerful than most medicines you'll find on a pharmacy shelf. Let's turn our attention to turmeric. 4. Ingredient 3, turmeric, curcumin, the inflammation circuit breaker. I still remember a man named Robert who came to me after years of discomfort. He'd retired early from construction because his knees hurt too much to climb ladders. But what really got to him, he said, was how the pain made him feel distant from his wife. Like his body had become a cage, and the version of himself he once knew was locked inside. That conversation has stayed with me because it reminded me how deeply connected our physical health is to the way we love, move, and feel as men. That's why turmeric, specifically its active compound, curcumin, is such an essential part of this formula. Turmeric doesn't just reduce inflammation, it turns off the switch at the source. Curcumin works on a cellular level to stop the chronic, low-grade inflammation that quietly damages your joints, blood vessels, brain tissue, and reproductive system. Unlike harsh medications that often come with side effects, curcumin gently restores balance. Many men who add turmeric to their daily routine notice that their body starts to feel lighter. Their thoughts become sharper. Sleep deepens. The stiffness in their back or knees becomes more manageable. But more than that, something shifts emotionally. They start to feel more in control. And with that comes confidence. And with confidence, often comes connection. Turmeric helps your body stop fighting itself. And once that inner war is quieted, the body is finally free to rebuild. But to make sure your energy is truly being used the right way, we need to support a system that's often overlooked, the one responsible for how your cells take in and use fuel. That's where the next ingredient, often hiding in your spice rack, begins to shine. Let's talk about cinnamon. 5. Ingredient 4, cinnamon, restoring metabolism and energy. A man I worked with not long ago, George, was 72 and told me he felt like his energy was on a timer. He could start the day strong, but by late morning, it was like someone had pulled the plug. His mind would cloud over, his body would drag, and despite eating what he called the healthiest meals of his life, nothing seemed to change. The truth is, what George was facing wasn't just aging, it was a slowing metabolism. something most men over 60 don't even realize is happening. Cinnamon, especially when used in its pure form, plays a quiet but powerful role in reversing this. It helps improve insulin sensitivity, which simply means it helps your body use sugar as fuel instead of letting it get stored as fat or wreak havoc on your energy levels. Think of it this way: every cell in your body is like a room, and insulin is the key that opens the door to let energy in. As we age, those locks get rusty. Cinnamon polishes the keys. With better insulin function, your body starts to regulate blood sugar more steadily. That means fewer crashes, fewer cravings, and more balanced energy throughout the day. For many men, it also means a drop in belly fat, better focus, and less irritability. It doesn't hit like caffeine, it sustains like a well-tuned engine. Once your metabolism is moving smoothly again, something else quietly begins to change: your mind. Focus sharpens, mood lifts, and the fog that used to settle in the afternoon begins to fade. That's because of what's coming next. A familiar ingredient from childhood, though few people ever realize how powerful it really is. Let me show you what pure cocoa can do for your brain and your desire. 6. Ingredient 5, cocoa, for brain flow, mood, and arousal. There's something comforting about the smell of cocoa. It brings back memories of simpler times, childhood winters, warm drinks, a sense of calm. But for men over 60, pure unsweetened cocoa isn't just nostalgic. It's one of the most underappreciated tools for reviving the mind, mood, and even arousal. I remember one patient, Charles, a retired school teacher, who told me he hadn't felt mentally awake in years. He said he was still sharp, but everything felt a little duller. His thoughts slower, his reactions delayed, and even his emotional connection with his wife had begun to feel muted. When we added cocoa to his daily mix, something changed. Slowly but surely, the lights came back on. The secret lies in cocoa's natural flavonols, compounds that boost blood flow, especially to the brain. Better circulation to your brain means more oxygen, more nutrients, and more clarity. Cocoa also contains theobromine, a gentle cousin to caffeine that lifts alertness without the crash or jitteriness. And perhaps most importantly, cocoa is rich in tryptophan, the amino acid your body uses to produce serotonin, the chemical behind happiness, calm, and emotional connection. Men often tell me after just a week or two of including cocoa in their morning blend, they feel lighter, more clear-headed, more emotionally available. And many are surprised to find that with better brain flow and mood comes something else: an organic return of desire, intimacy, and responsiveness that they thought age had stolen. But as powerful as mental clarity is, it's nothing without physical strength. That's why the next ingredient in this formula is crucial. It's often misunderstood as something only young athletes need. But for older men, it might just be the most important tool for keeping your body strong and independent. Let's talk about creatine. 7. Ingredient 6, creatine, energy for muscles, brain, and bedroom. I'll never forget Tom. He was 74, used to be an amateur boxer, proud of the strength he had in his younger days. But when he came to see me, he spoke softly, almost ashamed. "I feel weak," he said. "Even standing up from a chair feels like a task. And in the bedroom, well, let's just say I don't feel like myself anymore." That kind of quiet honesty always moves me because it's something so many men feel but rarely say out loud. That's why creatine is such a game changer. Most people associate it with bodybuilders or athletes in their 20s, but the truth is, it's one of the most studied, reliable, and effective supplements for men over 60. Why? Because as we age, our body's natural creatine stores begin to decline, and with them, our ability to generate quick, usable energy in our muscles and brain. Creatine helps regenerate ATP, the energy your cells use every time you lift, move, think, or even get aroused. With just 1 small teaspoon a day, around 5 grams, you can support muscle strength, sharpen memory, and improve stamina, even during moments of intimacy. Men who add creatine to their daily blend often notice they feel more grounded in their bodies, stronger, more capable, and more alive. Tom came back after a month on this blend. His grip was firmer, his posture straighter, and his smile wider. "It's not a miracle," he said. "It just feels like I got a piece of myself back." But physical strength is just one side of the coin. To truly restore balance, especially hormonal and emotional stability, we need to calm the stress systems that are quietly stealing your energy every day. That's where one ancient root, powerful and deeply calming, makes all the difference. Let's explore ashwagandha. 8. Ingredient. 7. Ashwagandha, the hormone harmonizer. There's a kind of tiredness that sleep alone can't fix. I've seen it in the eyes of many men over 60. Guys who've lived full lives, faced real challenges, raised families, built careers, but now find themselves running on fumes, wondering why everything feels heavier than it used to. That's what chronic stress does. It sneaks in slowly and starts interfering with your sleep, your hormones, your drive, and even your sense of purpose. One man, Richard, a 69-year-old former pilot, described it as waking up every day with the brakes on. That's where ashwagandha comes in. This ancient root, used for thousands of years in Ayurvedic medicine, is what we call an adaptogen. It doesn't force your body to do anything. It helps it adapt, rebalance, and return to its natural rhythm. And one of the most important things it does is lower cortisol, the stress hormone that, when left unchecked, sabotages your testosterone, weakens your immune system, disrupts sleep, and quietly drains your vitality. Ashwagandha helps calm the nervous system, improves sleep quality, and allows your hormones, especially testosterone, to regulate naturally again. Many men notice that within a few weeks, they feel more emotionally steady, less reactive, and more present in their relationships. It's not a stimulant, it's a stabilizer. It creates space for the body to recover what stress has stolen. Richard told me, I feel more like myself again, not just in my body, but in my mind. And when all 7 of these ingredients are working together, maca, ginger, turmeric, cinnamon, cocoa, creatine, and ashwagandha, they form a system, a full circle, daily support for the man you still are underneath the fatigue. Now that you understand the ingredients, the next question is simple but essential. How do you prepare this daily spoonful so your body absorbs the full benefits? Let me walk you through exactly how to do it. 9. How to prepare and use this spoonful daily. Now that you've seen what each of these 7 ingredients can do, the real magic lies in how they come together. Because this isn't about taking random powders and hoping for the best. It's about creating a daily ritual that your body can rely on every single morning. I always tell my patients, healing doesn't happen overnight. It happens through consistency, through showing up for your body day after day, just like it's shown up for you all these years. To prepare the blend, you'll need a clean, dry mixing bowl. Add 1.5 tablespoons of maca powder, 1 tablespoon each of ginger, turmeric, cinnamon, and ashwagandha, 1.5 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder, and 1 level teaspoon of creatine monohydrate, about 5 grams. Mix it thoroughly until all the powders are evenly combined. Then store it in an airtight glass jar and place it in your refrigerator to keep the ingredients fresh and active. One batch should last you 3 to 5 days. Each morning before your first full meal, take 1 tablespoon of the mixture. Stir it into warm water, nut milk, lemon water, or even unsweetened yogurt. I personally recommend lemon water. The vitamin C helps enhance the absorption of curcumin from the turmeric, giving your body an extra edge. Drink it slowly, let it be a moment of quiet intention, a daily promise to your health. The most important part isn't the recipe, it's the rhythm. Day by day, spoon by spoon, you're not just nourishing your body. You're telling it, I still care, I still believe in you. And now that you know how to prepare it, let me show you what to expect as your body begins to change. Week by week, from the inside out. What to expect, week by week. Change doesn't arrive like a lightning bolt, it comes in quiet waves. In the first week, most men don't feel a burst of energy, but something more subtle. Deeper sleep, a little less morning fog, and a sense that their body is beginning to shift gears. By week 2, stiffness starts to ease. Climbing stairs feels smoother, mood feels lighter, and moments of desire return. Not forced, just present. By week 3, mental clarity sharpens, and strength, true, grounded strength, starts to come back. Libido no longer feels like a memory, becomes something real again. And by week 4, men often say the same thing. I feel like myself again. Not the 25-year-old version, but the version that still wants to live fully, connect deeply, and wake up with purpose. That's the power of this blend. Not as a cure, but as a reset, a way to give your body what it's been quietly asking for all along. So if you've made it this far, maybe that's your body speaking up. Maybe it's ready. The next step is simple. 1 spoon a day, every day. Let your body remember how strong it can still be. Your comeback starts now.